Hello, my name is Kurt. You might know me as Kharr, or you might know me as Anime Basic, but today I'm going to be showing you guys my Nintendo Switch game collection. I would show off some of the accessories and things, but I don't really have anything that's actually that special, except like a Splatoon 2 Pro Controller. But yeah, I'm going to focus on the games today. I'm going to be going in alphabetical order except for a couple of exclusions. But yeah, without further ado, let me just show you guys what I got. First up is ARMS. Most of these games I got on release, ARMS included, back when the Switch had not a super great library, but this is actually a decent game. If you're able to find it, which I haven't seen any copies in stores for quite some time, it's a fun game. You can really work up a sweat if you're actually really getting into the game. Next up is Astral Chain. Haven't finished the game. I think I'm probably about halfway through. But amazing game. This one's done by Platinum Games, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Platinum Games. If you can pick it up, grab it. I remember when it first came out, my store kept selling out just constantly. We couldn't keep it in, in stock. Next up is the Bayonetta 1 and 2 collection. A few years ago, I went on a cruise and I smashed out both games in about 2 days because you can finish them in about 5 or 6 hours each easily. But super fun. Can't wait for Bayonetta 3. Next up is Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Truth be told, this is kind of overpriced. I did pay like 60 Australian dollars for this when it came out, 60 or 70 dollars. Which it does come with like this cool kind of like NES style booklet, which is dope. But I've been a fan of the Binding of Isaac and Edmund Mellon for quite some time, and I'd never actually bought the Binding of Isaac in a physical version before, and so this is my way of really supporting those guys, supporting the developers. Next up is BioShock the Collection. Decent ports, like nothing special, but the fact that you're able to play 3 BioShock games on the go, pretty sweet. Basically, there is an additional internet download required, if you can see that. You do have to download more, but it still kind of mostly runs off the cartridge. And then next up is Borderlands Legendary Collection. This one's a bit different to BioShock. Came out at the same time, but the first Borderlands game is actually what's on the cartridge, and then Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3 sequel are complete digital downloads. So you get on the back of here as a code, and you get both of those games, which I know some people don't like. I actually really like it because Borderlands 2 is my favorite game of all time. So the fact that I don't have to keep popping in a cartridge, but I've still kind of got the Switch version, I've got Switch version and kind of a physical version, makes me very happy. Next up is Daemon X Machina. I've barely touched this. I think I've put like 5 minutes into it. I do want to get around to playing it, but I think based on my pile of shame, it's probably gonna be a while before I actually get around to playing it. But you know, the 5-10 minutes I do play of it seem pretty fun. I've just got a lot of other games I need to play before I get around to giving this guy a proper chance. Next up is Darksiders War Master Edition. Nothing special, just a port of Darksiders 1. Same with Darksiders 2 Death Definitive Edition. Dark Souls Remastered. So when I got this when it first came out, which I don't know if I call it rare, but you can't find this in Australia anywhere anymore for Switch. Like no retail stores are stocking it. I think it was, well, I mean, in typical Bandai Namco fashion, I think it was just kind of like a one and done shipment deal, and that was it. I played like an hour when it first came out on Switch and just dropped it. But then on stream on my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Kharr the Aussie, that's KharrTheAussie. I was playing through Dark Souls 1 and playing through Dark Souls 3, and I enjoyed the hell out of them. So now I'm enjoying the hell out of Dark Souls 1 on Switch. It's a great port. Next up is Deadly Premonition Origins. So I never got around to playing this game when it first came out. I watched 2 best friends play. Rip. I watched their channel. I watched them play through it when it came out. I watched them play like the Xbox 360 version or the PS3 version or something. I picked this up for about 29 bucks Australian at EB Games, which was a pretty good deal. I haven't seen it cheaper than that, and also this is kind of getting hard to find now. And then next up is Deadly Premonition 2. Once again, I haven't played this yet. This is going to be a recurring theme in this collection. I haven't played this yet. I do want to play the first game before I do touch this, just so I get the full experience of a pseudo Twin Peaks kind of game. But yeah, I wanted to get this since it came out, when it was still full price, which they were charging about 70 Australian dollars for it when it first came out, I believe. But it very recently dropped down to $29 Australian. So hell yeah, jumped on that straight away. So I got both Deadly Premonition games for under $60 Australian, which to me is pretty cool. Well, pretty good deal. Next up is Death Squared. So this isn't really a physical copy. So what this is let me see if I can show you. So this is a it's a physical case, but it doesn't have an actual game card. It's just like a bit of cardboard that they put in there to simulate a game case. But it's also like signed by the developers and everything. Yeah, it's signed by the developers, which I bought this when it was like an EB Games exclusive because I want to support the Australian developers. I like to support Australian game development when I can, especially since it's pretty much all indie now. I think they've since released an actual physical cart version, but I think it's pretty cool that I got this kind of initial release when it was strictly digital only. Even though I just got a game code, that I still have this kind of like original signed case. That's pretty cool to me. It's probably not worth much because the game code's gone, but it's whatever. It's cool to me. Next up is Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. Yeah, Eternal Collection. I haven't played a whole bunch of this on Switch. I played a ridiculous amount of Diablo 3 on PC and a decent amount on other consoles as well. I've played this on a couple of plane trips, you know, back when you were able to take plane trips. I'm recording this in March 2021, so hopefully things get fixed soon. But yeah, good game. If you can only play it on Switch, then definitely pick it up, for sure. Next up is Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. I think, is it Cyber Sleuth Collection? Yeah, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition. So you get Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth and Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Active Memory. So it's a double pack. I'm not a huge Digimon fan, but I'm a pretty big fan. Like I've got all the cartoon from like season 1 to 5, cartoon, anime, whatever. I've got it all season 1 to 5 on DVD. I've got all of Digimon Adventure Tri on Blu-ray, each of the individual volumes. I've also got Digimon Last Evolution Kizuna on Blu-ray. Haven't gotten around to watching that one yet, but I will get around to playing this eventually. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This is a fun game. It can be a bit difficult in some parts, which I'm sure some people will rag on me for saying that. There is Funky Kong that you can play as, which makes the game just insanely easy. But this is fun. It's a fun platformer that has a decent amount of difficulty. Doom, maybe more accurately Doom 2016. I played a ridiculous amount of this. This is actually one of my most played Switch games. I never really played the multiplayer on it. I played a couple of matches off the multiplayer on Switch. I'm part of a couple of Switch groups on Facebook where people actually set up like matches, because there's not an active online component on Switch, but people will set up matches. So if you've never played the multiplayer before and you really want to on Switch, I'd join some groups and see if you can find it. But otherwise, the single player is fantastic. This is a great port for the Switch. The graphics aren't the best, but hey, it's the Switch. We all knew what we were getting into. Dragon Quest XI. So I haven't touched this one yet. Like I said, recurring theme. I haven't touched this one yet. I bought it on release because I figured, like most JRPGs on Switch, or JRPGs in general, this would be pretty hard to find, which is now the case in Australia. I haven't really found this anywhere else. So even though I haven't played it yet, I am super glad that I picked it up, because you can't find it anywhere. I'm not sure what the prices are online. I'm sure it's still recommended retail, because I'm sure it's easy to find one imported, but one with the actual Australian name you can't really find anywhere. Skyrim, do I really need to explain? Final Fantasy X and X-2, or X and X, whatever. Fuck, I don't care. I played a bit of Final Fantasy X. Haven't touched any of X-2. I need to play a lot more. But this is the next game on my list of, like, in regards to Pile of Shame. This is the next game that I need to play. I keep being told by a ton of people, like, oh, it's my favorite game. Like it's their favorite game and I need to play it. I'm like, yeah, I agree. I have the game. I just need to put it in my Switch and actually play it. Final Fantasy 12. I mean, same thing as Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy 10. Trying to find an Australian copy of this is getting increasingly difficult. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Once again, haven't touched it. Heard amazing things, but it's like getting into a 20-hour RPG at least is very daunting, which I don't have that kind of time, unfortunately. But if I'm able to play it on stream, I think that'd be a good idea. I think playing this on stream would be a fun thing. Fire Emblem Warriors, which I suppose is gonna surprise some people. I've played a ton of Fire Emblem Warriors, not compared to like other games on my Switch, but I've put maybe 10 hours into this, which compared to Fire Emblem Three Houses is a lot more, more than none. But yeah, I enjoyed this. This is actually my first entry in the Fire Emblem franchise, which I know it's probably the worst entry point. But it's fun. I enjoy the Warriors games. I enjoy the Koei Tecmo games. God Eater 3. I played 15 minutes. Combat was fun. Game was fun when I played a bit. But it's another thing I just kind of bought because I was worried I wouldn't be able to find it, and has just been on my pile of shame. Has Been Heroes. I bought this a week after I got my Switch. I paid full price for it, which I'm sure a lot of people will scoff at, and a lot of people don't like this game. I don't think it's awful. It was made by, was it Game Trust? Or Frozen by it. Game Trust or Frozen by it, whichever company is what. It's actually owned by GameStop and EB Games, which is why this was an exclusive through them. I enjoyed it. I like roguelikes. I feel like I got my money out of this. I haven't touched it since probably the first year of the Switch, which is about 3 years ago now. But I feel like I got my money's worth out of it. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, right? Yeah, Definitive Edition. Haven't touched it. I don't really think I need to. It is a Warriors game. I do know what I'm getting myself into with this, but it's just not something I feel like I need to play immediately. Kirby Star Allies. I bought this when I was feeling really, really crappy. And I needed a game to cheer me up, which I'm trying to buy all the first party Nintendo Switch games, or first party and second party, that I can, which you'll note there's some big missing titles here. Don't worry, I'm aware of what I'm missing. But yeah, I bought this when I was feeling kind of crappy, and it made me feel really good. It's easy as all hell. You can easily beat it in a day if you really try. But it's good for kids, and when I needed to pick me up, it was a fantastic game to do so. L.A. Noire. Decent port. Doesn't look as amazing on Switch as it does other consoles or PC, but hey, if it's the only way for you to play L.A. Noire, then it's a great way to do so. Breath of the Wild. Do I need to say anything else? I've got the collector's edition as well. I'll insert a picture here. The Master Sword. Actually, I'm kind of pointing into it right now, but I'll also put a picture in. Amazing game. Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Great game. I haven't finished it yet, which I know it's a short game, but I've been watching a walkthrough just so I can finish it, because it is something I want to take off my pile of shame. My pile of shame is huge, as you guys have seen. Lego The Incredibles. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Fun game. Doesn't run amazingly, but fun. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Hey, I think this is the best-selling game on Switch, so I don't need to say anything more than that. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Mario Tennis Aces. From what I've seen, the online for this is dead, but the actual base game is pretty fun. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I'm a big Marvel fan, but I just haven't been able to put the time into this that I really want to. I've only put a couple of hours into it. But next time I'm on holiday, I'm probably gonna try and smash through this. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. This is my first foray into kind of more old school Monster Hunter. So Monster Hunter World was my first foray into Monster Hunter. And this was a kick in the balls. This Monster Hunter World kind of holds your hand quite a bit. It's definitely a more casual experience. But I still enjoy the hell out of this. This is a fun game, and I'm excited for Monster Hunter Rise at the end of March. Mortal Kombat 11, cutscenes look great. Gameplay doesn't look amazing. But if you're just playing it handheld and you just want the Mortal Kombat experience on the go, you can't go wrong with this. My Hero One's Justice. Great anime. I've read the manga. Fun game. Pretty lazy cutscenes, but it's fine. My Hero One's Justice 2. So I think this covers the 3rd and 4th season of the anime story-wise. But I haven't played it yet, unfortunately. I've heard they actually added in English dub voice acting, which I do watch the dub for this anime, which I know some people will scoff at, but I feel like the main villain in season 4, the dub voice actor actually does a better job of conveying anger and different emotions. So come at me. You know, Kuni, haven't played it yet. Another RPG. Octopath Traveler. I want to play a lot more of this, but the visuals are fantastic. I love the turn-based combat. Very fun. Paper Mario: The Origami King. I haven't touched this. I think this is probably gonna be the next first-party game I pick up, like actually pick up and play. Because I've actually watched some gameplay clips in the past couple of days. Looks really fun. So I think this is gonna be the next one to pick up in regards to a first party, which that might contradict what I've said about other games that I've already gone through, but hey, whatever. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Blair. There we go. Fun game. I didn't mind the more basic catching mechanics because I knew they were coming out with a proper Pokemon game anyway, which is Pokemon Sword. My fiance has Pokemon Shield. I bought the double pack that came with like a cool gold steelbook. I still haven't finished this. It's fine, but it's not as great as I would have wished. I would have wanted. Pokken Tournament, decent fighting game. Resident Evil Revelations Collection. I had to import this because none of the Resident Evil games on Switch got physical releases in Australia in any kind of capacity. So I had to import this. It wasn't very cheap. Resident Evil Origins Collection, once again, had to import it. Once again, not super cheap. And then finally for the Resident Evil Triple Pack, which is Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6. Once again, had to import this. I think this was actually the cheapest out of the 3, because I managed to buy it off Amazon after they had just kind of restocked it. Yeah. The Switch ports are pretty much flawless in all those games. I know some people miss the gyro aiming on Resident Evil 4, but it's not. I never played the Wii version, so it's not something that really affects me. Risk of Rain 1 and 2. I love Risk of Rain 2. Haven't touched number 1, but Risk of Rain 2 seemed like the perfect game to have portable, so I picked this up for pretty cheap. I think I got it for like $24, $25 or something. EB Games had it really cheap for some reason. So I just price matched them with JB Hi-Fi. Saints Row the Third, good game. Switch port's decent. I wish it ran a little bit better, but it's the Switch and it's an open world game, so I can't complain too much. Shaq Fu 2. Haven't played it. It's Shaq Fu. I kind of bought it as a meme, honestly. I think this is going to be something funny to have in my collection. Well, I think it's funny to have in my collection now. I think it's going to be really funny to have in my collection in 10 years. So that's why I bought it. It was also cheap as hell. It cost me like $15, which is nothing. Skylanders Imaginators. This is like the first and only Skylanders game I ever bought. It's fine. I just bought it because I wanted to play the Crash Bandicoot pack. This is before they brought it the Insane Trilogy, not just craving anything Crash Bandicoot. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. This is actually one of the few games on Switch I've completely finished. Great humor, gameplay's decent. If you want to feel like you're playing an episode of South Park, this is the way to go. If you can find this cheap, I would definitely pick it up. And if you're over 18. Splatoon 2. Haven't played this in a while, but I played the absolute hell out of Splatoon 2 in the first like 2 or 3 months of its release. I think I mentioned this earlier. I've got the Splatoon 2 Pro Controller. But yeah, this is a fun game. I am looking forward to Splatoon 3. Now there's a bigger install base and there's going to be a lot more hype around that game, but that's probably a year and a half off before it actually comes out. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I'm recording this at the start of March. This is getting pulled at the end of the month from the eShop, and they're ceasing production on the cartridges. So I don't think this is going to become a collector's item anytime soon. Maybe in like 15 or 20 years. But you've been able to find like a ton of these everywhere. They kind of just flooded the market with them. But yeah, I've been playing Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy for the first time ever, like all of them, and I've been enjoying them. Super Mario 64 is a little bit janky, but it is a very old game, so what can you expect? New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is one of the most confusing names of any Switch game ever, or any game ever really. I hadn't played much of this since it came out, but in the past couple of days, my fiance and I have been playing this again and playing it co-op, and it's been a ton of fun. And if anybody hasn't picked this up yet and is wanting to play it with another person or other people, make sure your relationship is very strong. Luckily, my fiance and I have a very strong relationship, which is why we're engaged. But make sure you have a strong relationship with someone before you play this, because it could destroy that relationship otherwise. Super Mario Maker 2. I got the limited edition that came with like the Nintendo Switch Online. I think it also has, some extra goodies. So it's got like a stylus, like a keychain. As you can see, because these things are both sealed, I haven't actually really touched this game. Sorry. Super Mario Odyssey. Once again, this game came out when there's kind of a drought on Switch games. I think it came out in June 2017. But if you do not have this game, pick it up. It's fun. You get like a solid 6 or 7 hours of like straight gameplay if you're just trying to beat the game. If you're trying to collect all the moons and everything, there's quite a bit more to it. You get quite a bit more playtime out of it. But this is one of the best games on Switch in my opinion. Super Mario Party. Once again, if you're playing this with anybody, make sure you have a strong relationship, because it can break it. Super Smash Bros. I'm not a big Super Smash guy. I played the hell out of this the first month it came out. I haven't really touched it for a while. But now that they're bringing out the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 characters for Smash, I might jump back in and check out what I've been missing, because I have been meaning to get back into it. And I might play my friend that lives in another state. I might see if he wants to verse me. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. This is my first No More Heroes game, which is probably going to frustrate a lot of people. Don't worry, I know this isn't what No More Heroes actually is. They did release the first 2 No More Heroes games on the Switch eShop, which I'm glad I refrained from buying, because at the start of March, Limited Run Games announced that they're going to be releasing physical copies of No More Heroes 1 and No More Heroes 2, which I'm going to jump straight on because I want those games physically. And then No More Heroes 3 comes out in August. So hopefully the first 2 come out physically before the third game comes out, but I'm in no rush to play the third game. So if I need to wait, I'm happy to wait. So this next one is kind of a baby in my collection. So this is Turok 1 and Turok 2 from Limited Run Games. I bought the special edition double pack, which has this kind of cool cover. I'll take the games out. So this might not reflect on show up on film very well. But these have metallic colors and they're embossed. So this looks dope as hell. This Turok 2. Which I didn't, when I ordered these from Limited Run Games, I didn't know that's what the covers would look like. I would have ordered them regardless. But when they showed up and I saw them, I was blown away. They look amazing. They're kind of, I think each game is going for like anywhere between like 110 to 140 Australian dollars on eBay. I don't know what they were last sold at, but they're limited run games, so anybody selling it is selling it at like a dumb markup. Next up is Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. I love Wolfenstein 2. The port's good. The port is good, just like Doom. I think they're both done by Panic Button, which have a history with good Switch ports. But yeah, if this is anywhere you can play Wolfenstein 2, definitely pick this up. Otherwise, I would recommend playing on other consoles or PC, but the Switch version is definitely worthy. Except it's Wolfenstein Youngblood. This isn't a good game. This is actually pretty disappointing. It's still developed by Panic Button, like the port, so it's still a decent port, but the game itself just isn't good. If you can avoid this, avoid it. Otherwise, if you can find it in a bargain bin, it might be worth picking up for like $10, but don't pay full price or even half price for it. The World Ends With You Final Remix. So this is actually, from what I can tell, kind of rare now. I think it's been out of print for a while. Everywhere I've looked online to like try and gauge how much it's worth, is usually between like 120 to like 170. That's very rough, by the way. That's just me checking out different people's listings. I'm not saying it's actually worth that much, just what people are listing that. But with the anime coming out pretty soon and this becoming increasingly difficult to find, I think it's probably going to skyrocket in value pretty soon. But I won't be giving it a copy. The controls aren't great, but I'm a fan of the game. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've got like 50 hours in this game. I'm still nowhere near finishing it. I keep getting stuck in different spots. I'll get stuck and then not touch it for like months and then get unstuck, play like 10 hours and then get stuck somewhere else. But this is a fun game. I play it with a dub, which I know a lot of people hate the dub for this game. I think it's kind of charming. This is also becoming kind of rare, at least in Australia. Once again, copies at least going for like 110, 120 on eBay, which I don't know exactly why. I think it's just been out of print for a little while maybe. But most of my Switch games I've picked up on launch to avoid that. Next up is Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh! fan, or I used to be. I'm a fan of classic Yu-Gi-Oh! So like original Yu-Gi-Oh! with Yu-Gi-Moto and then Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and that's where I stopped. That's where I stopped caring. But yeah, this is fun. It's like playing through the shows with the different seasons. But this is fun. If you're a Yu-Gi-Oh! fan, you like this. Don't know if it's worth full price. I think I paid like $60 for this. $60 Australian. Maybe don't pay that much. Maybe just buy it straight off the eShop if it's cheap. Next up is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I'm amazed they fit this game on the Nintendo Switch. It's not the best way to play the game. If you can play it on a PC, play it on a PC. If you can play it on a more powerful console, do that. But if you can only play this game on the Nintendo Switch, you cannot go wrong. It's a good port. Sure, it doesn't look amazing. Sure, the frame rate can chug a little bit every now and then, but it's a good port. So if this is your only way to play The Witcher 3, please. Now, last up for my games, I'll show you my fiance's games as well. It's a small collection, but last up for my games is the Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Collector's Edition, which I'm not going to open it up and take everything out of. I might put a picture up on the screen so you can see what comes with it, but there's a really cool like glass crystal. It's probably, I think it's fake, I think it's just resin, but like a glass or crystal looking replica of an NES cartridge of the original Fire Emblem, which looks so cool. Some people were bitching that this game didn't get a physical release. I consider that NES cartridge replica a physical release, even though a lot of people weren't able to pick this up. But I've learned if there's anything Nintendo, you need to jump on that shit straight away when it goes pre-order. Yeah, lastly, I'll show you guys my fiance's games. So we have Doraemon Story of Seasons, Ring Fit Adventure. I've actually started playing this myself because I need to lose weight. Pokemon Shield. I have Sword, Shield. I bought a double pack like I mentioned earlier. Let's go Eevee. I bought this for her. My Time at Porsche. I also bought this for her. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so that we, you know, if we want to verse each other, we can. Her own copy of Breath of the Wild, so she can play Breath of the Wild if she wants to, while if I also want to play it on my Switch. Dragon Quest Builders 1, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, and Animal Crossing. Yeah, like I said earlier, I do want to collect all of the first party and second party Nintendo Switch games that they're releasing, which, if you know what games they've released, you know there's quite a few titles missing from my collection. Don't worry, I know which ones I'm missing. I've got an Excel spreadsheet of which ones I need to buy. I will be working on that after my wedding. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's probably quite a long video. Maybe you guys saw some games you either didn't know were on Switch, or maybe you're after suggestions on what to buy next. But yeah, either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.